introduce Janis Jones, who is in the November issue of Harper's BAZAAR as fabulous at every age. 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 60.
60.
Good for you. Telling your age and looking fabulous.
Thank you.
I think you will set out to be an icon for people who are of a certain age. And if you can do it, so can everybody else. So let's talk about your life a little bit. Age 55, you're diagnosed with triple-negative breast cancer. What happens to your world then?
It is completely upside down. And just to back it up a little bit, I had, at 55 years old, with children that were launched, I had been going to the gym every day. I felt healthy. I felt energetic. I had finally achieved the weight that I had always wanted to be. I was taking care of myself, and I actually found the tumor myself.
Was this after yearly mammograms that didn't find it?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I had gone for my yearly checkup, which was a mammogram and followed by sonogram in May. I went for my yearly gynecological checkup in June. Both of the doctors said separately, "Jan, you look great. We'll see you next year." By Christmas, I had a 6-centimeter tumor, diagnosed as triple negative.
How did you find it? Did you have a feeling? Did you
Well, I was
right?
putting on my pajama top, and I said, I must have pulled a muscle at the gym. It feels a little stiff. And then, of course, as I looked a little further, I thought, this doesn't feel like a pulled muscle. And some sinking feeling in me just said, oh, this is much more. And then we were at Christmas. Everything was closed. So 2 days after Christmas, I went back to my mammography center. They took another set of pictures, and they just simply told me right there, they said, you need to get to Sloan Kettering, or a very major cancer center. We think that there's very little chance that this is an infection. It looks to be a very aggressive situation.
Now, your mother had cancer.
Yes.
At what age?
She had it at 69 and actually needed nothing more than the tumor, small tumor itself, removed. It was not the same kind of cancer. We had no family history other than I'm going to say, a relatively benign form of breast cancer that my mother had.
So this throws you into a world that you don't even recognize. You lose your hair, your eyelashes, your eyebrows, you become somebody else. And they also said to you, I think, you have a 50-50 shot at making it.
Well, you see, that was really a very key conversation, because when I met with my oncologist, I said, okay, all right, you're telling me that you're even recommending chemo first rather than taking out the tumor. He said, no, we want to start the chemo immediately. Then we'll take out the tumor, and then more than likely it will be followed by radiation. And I said, okay. I said, what if I, don't choose to do any of these things? And he said, well, that would be suicide. I said, well, what are my chances? Because I've always heard that women that have breast cancer, usually have 80, 90, 95% chance of full recovery and cure. And he said, you're 50-50. And I said, 50-50? And he said, 51% because you're you.
Okay,
But
so
it was so shocking to hear that number, to know that I was in a completely different place. And this is the kind of cancer also. Triple negative breast cancer is the kind of cancer that affects African American women and young women in much higher numbers. And all of a sudden I found myself with not just breast cancer, but one that was roaring. And so that Thursday, I started the triple cocktail chemotherapy.
how long did this last?
That started in January, and it ended in April. And yes, on the 16th day, you do lose your hair right on schedule. So I did what everybody does do. I had it trimmed into a bob first, but then on that 16th day, you do stand in the shower, and there it goes. And then also, the one thing that I didn't really realize is that you would lose your eyebrows and your eyelashes. And that didn't happen until a little bit later, but one morning I woke up and I said, I look overexposed. What happened here? I'm very pale. And I looked closer and I thought, I don't have any more eyelashes.
What does this do to you?
Well, it can do two things. It can either take you to a place where you are just completely despondent, or you can look at your face in the mirror and say, let me reimagine myself, because it was really the first time since being a child that I saw myself as I really was.
No makeup,
No.
no nothing. You're at the mercy of this disease, and you can either fight or fail, I guess.
That's so well put. And so I looked into the mirror and I said, okay, let me try to reimagine what beauty really is. And I was also very fortunate because I happened to coincide with that point in time where the actress Anne Hathaway had just gone into a pixie cut. And so what I did first is I did get a wig, and I did not have great hair to begin with. And so I even told the wig maker, I said, I don't have great hair, could you make me kind of a junky looking wig? And she did, and no one knew that I had lost my hair.
So they give you some self-esteem back.
Right, well, you know what it did? It was the transition of sort of still looking like myself. But then as I started to look at that, I said, this is not a very good look. I was overdue for a different look. And so when the wig came off, and I had about an inch of hair at that point in time, that was closer to September, I took a deep breath and I went to the market, and there was a young woman in back of me who said, I love your haircut. You know, Anne Hathaway just cut her hair. And I was laughing so hard because no one thought that I had had cancer. They just thought that I was being fashion forward.
A lot of people who have cancer don't want to be defined by cancer. Some people like the term cancer survivor, some people don't. They want to emerge, oftentimes they emerge as somebody different. They come out as wanting to help others that are going to come up from behind them being diagnosed with cancer as well. Did that happen to you?
Yes, and the first clue that you get to that, though, is in the chemo lab, because you're looking at all the other women of all the various ages going through these same treatments. You realize how widespread this pain is. And the nurse, my nurse said to me, she said, this will change you in ways that you don't expect. And I think one of the biggest ways that it changes, or has changed me, is how I devote my time. Because part of it is wanting to inspire other people and being very, very careful about how I portion out that time to make sure that life has meaning.
Well, Harper's Bazaar agreed with you, and I just want to show folks this. So she's on the cover of this particular issue, which is November. And this is you among the 20, 30, 40, 50, and 60-somethings looking healthy and awesome.
Thank you.
And I also want to show a video now of you.
Oh, thank you. I learned that we as humans are so much stronger than I would have ever believed. There are things that I look back at that I cannot believe I got through. Nourishing outer beauty has a tremendous amount of importance and effect in the process of healing. Your energy level lifts. When you feel good about yourself, you're able to translate that to other people. They say, well, okay, if she can do it, I can do it too. And that really creates a very positive chain reaction. That to me is fabulous.
There were thousands of applicants. They picked you. What are you going to do with this newfound platform?
I am going to continue to inspire other women. I am going to start a blog and a website because I do love fashion, and I do really feel that the problem sometimes when women get a cancer diagnosis is they feel that their beauty's over. But to me, I believe your beauty just starts. And I really want to convey that message that the inner beauty and the outer beauty can be, in fact, much better than you ever experienced before.
Is this a whole new you, or were you like this before the diagnosis?
No, I believe it is a whole new me, because I find that I really enjoy and embrace a new and a different look, which I feel is a new and a better look. And that allows me to just put myself out there and apply myself to all the things and all the people in my life without being self-conscious. It's made me less self-conscious because I feel that we are more individual.
Now you're going to write a book.
Yes, I've been working on a book and I'm in final draft. And
that's exciting, right? At 60?
Yes, it's very exciting. And it is a novel. It's the story of a woman's first love and a man's last. And I'm very excited about its completion. And I would like to also, given that it has the backdrop of Formula One Grand Prix auto racing, I'd like to emphasize that that's where I got a lot of my fashion know-how. I traveled Europe, in the 1970s, the late 70s. I learned about European style. I believe that racing and fashion go hand in hand.
There's a whole new world coming for you. This could be a first of many books. You realize that, right? Mm-hmm. And you've got a new platform, a whole new life again. And I find you to be such an inspiration for others who will get that same diagnosis.
Thank you.
So thank you so much for coming on, Janis Jones, and we look for great things to come for you.
Thank you very much, Ann.
When one listen, who's this girl? Spend all night kissing and it was right here, then who else is missing? Got a little sidetracked if I'm a wishing to find the keys to the door, but it's also a metaphor. Need to keep locked in the grocery store of my mind, just to save time. Skip right ahead to the last ride. The harder we look, the less we can see. Don't you know, that you need me.